Good evening, everybody. Today we will be continuing our verse-by-verse Bible study in the book of Proverbs with chapters 4 and 5. Without further ado, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go, keep her, for she is thy life. Verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. This is very interesting. So, verses 14, it says, enter not into the path of wicked men. And it says in 15, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. And it says they're not going to sleep until they have done mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. That's very interesting. There's people out there like that can't get sleep unless they cause someone to fall. Verse 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness, they know not at what they stumble. Verse 20, my son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings, let them not depart from thine eyes, keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. I want to stop right there. Look at that in verse 22. When it says, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. What's the antecedent? What's the subject? Verse 20, it says, my son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. So the words of this book are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. The words. And there's so many times in chapter 4 where it says words, words, words. Verse 5, the words of my mouth. Verse 20, my words. And talks about instruction and doctrine here. And it talks about how the words and the sayings are life and health. Verse 23, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. That's chapter 4. We're going to jump into chapter 5. But before we jump into chapter 5, this is a Ruckman Reference Bible. He has a couple of notes on chapter 4 I want to read here. Chapter 4, verse 7, when we read, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. This is what he says. Ruckman says, you are going to have to get understanding because there are two different kinds of wisdom. And he gives the reference of James chapter 3, verses 15 through 17. Satan has all kinds of wisdom, Ezekiel 28, 3 through 5, but like the ostrich in Job 39, 17, he lacked understanding, Job 28, 28, cross-reference Ezekiel 28:15 and 17. And then he says this about chapter 4, verse 18, which is this. The verse 18 says, "But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day." He says, verses 14 through 19 are a good sample of the many polarities found in Proverbs. The Buddhist oneness doctrine of yin and yang is alien to both testaments. In the Bible, it is either black or white, heaven or hell, God or the devil. There is no integration. There is no integration, compromise, concords, or agreements with the world's 7 great paths to hell: Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodoxy, Protestantism, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Other examples of polarity in Proverbs can be found in Proverbs 9:8, 10, 2 through 9, 14 through 18, 28, 30 to 32, and chapter 11, 1 through 6 and 17. And that is very true. What you'll notice about God is he is the great divider. He divided the light from the darkness, heaven and hell, the just from the unjust, the holy to the unclean. So whenever you see people in the world trying to blur the lines, that is satanic. For instance, God made 2 genders, male and female, created he them. What does the world do? What does Satan do? He says, well, you can be any gender you want. You can be gender fluid. You can be a male on this day or a female on this day or anything you want. That's blurring the lines, and that is satanic. So that's just one example of how the devil likes to blur the lines when God is the great divider. Another example is someone who is forgiven and someone who is not forgiven. The great divider is God. So chapter 5, Proverbs chapter 5, verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a 2-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Verse 15, drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breasts satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. That's a good one to memorize right there. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. Verse 22. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Verse 22, when it says, his own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. It talks about sins being like a yoke, and it reminded me of that verse where it says, stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. That's what that verse reminded me of. But anyways, that was Proverbs chapter 4 and chapter 5. Next time we will pick up on chapter 6. And yeah, Lord willing, I'm also doing my verse-by-verse Bible study in the book of Acts. I believe I just finished up chapter 4, and we'll be picking up, Lord willing, in chapter 5 very soon. So I hope you guys are following along with that, because Acts is a very important transitional book of the New Testament. And so I hope you guys follow along. God bless, and have a great day.